Zabie Yamasaki. I'm the Violence Prevention Coordinator at the University of California, Irvine. I am also the founder of Transcending Sexual Violence Through Yoga, which is an organization with a very simple mission, empowering survivors of sexual assault to heal through the practice of yoga. This video is designed as a tool for anyone who's interested in receiving education about trauma-sensitive yoga, as well as specifically for yoga teachers who are interested in incorporating trauma sensitivity into their teaching. A lot of what I'm going to talk about today is informed by Dave Emerson and Jen Turner's trauma-sensitive yoga workshop at the Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health, as well as through my 3 years of experience teaching yoga to survivors of sexual trauma. To give you a framework for where we're going today with this video, I want you to imagine for a moment what it might be like for a survivor walking into a yoga studio for the first time. Maybe it's taken a lot of courage for them to take those steps into the yoga room and have that be a part of their healing process. And imagine that they walk into the room and the room is dimly lit, the room is really hot. There are mats placed one next to each other really, really close. They are laying down next to a complete stranger. Maybe they see straps hanging on the wall. Or maybe a teacher comes and places their hands on them without their permission. And maybe they're coming into the room with a variety of different symptoms, ranging from disassociation to flashbacks to hypervigilance to PTSD or anxiety or depression. This can be an extremely triggering process for a survivor who's really just looking for an outlet to heal. Honestly, for the past couple of years, I've been propelled on this journey to learning how powerful yoga can be as a tool for healing for survivors of sexual assault. In my numerous conversations with survivors over the years, there's been some pretty consistent themes that have come up. One has been this need to feel something tangible, that they were actually feeling like they could regain power and control of their body and of their environment. And the next was just not being ready to process their experiences of trauma through talk therapy. And I knew that I wanted to develop a program that really spoke to the language of the body. And the spectrum of healing is so vast. What it comes down to is this need to offer multiple pathways to healing. And I have been completely overwhelmed by the benefits of the yoga practice. There were survivors who, after completing the 8-week Yoga as Healing series, were empowered to report to law enforcement what had happened to them because they felt so strong and stable in their bodies. There were other survivors who talked about their ability to be intimate again with a partner because they felt like they could assertively communicate what they're comfortable with and what their boundaries are. So the first tool that I want to discuss today is utilizing empowerment-based language in your classes. So really reminding survivors that they cannot be reminded enough how many choices that they have with their own body. Examples of cues that you might hear in a trauma-sensitive yoga class include, I invite you to explore your breath here. If it feels comfortable for you, maybe lengthen your leg long. You are always in complete control of your practice. So again, a lot of survivors have lost a lot of power and control as a result of the trauma they've experienced. So anything that you can do as a teacher to restore that sense of power and control is going to be a very powerful part of their healing process. The second tool that I'm going to cover today is the fact that there are no physical assists in trauma-sensitive yoga. For a survivor who is experiencing PTSD or anxiety or depression, this can be a really triggering process for them if a yoga teacher comes and places their hands on them without their permission. And physical assists really take away from the experience being their own and take away from them being able to focus on the present moment. Only if I saw somebody in real jeopardy of their safety would I come over and say, maybe try walking your foot out a little bit further. How does that feel? Does that feel more comfortable for you? So again, still maintaining the safety in the room, but making it be more about the personal exploration of the postures. The next tool that I'm going to cover is natural breathing. There are no controlled breathing cues in trauma-sensitive yoga. So again, just inviting survivors to inhale and exhale in ways that feel comfortable for them. Oftentimes, different types of breath can be linked to triggers that the survivor might have experienced, especially something during a sexual assault. If somebody was breathing very heavily, a certain type of controlled breathing can be triggering for them. So again, it's so important to just allow survivors to breathe in ways that they want to breathe. The fourth tool that I want to cover today is the fact that setting up for class is so key, and having students be a central part of what that looks like. So inviting students to set up their mats in whatever way feels comfortable for them. Sometimes students want to be in a circle, other times they want to be in a row, but really making it be about their experience. It's their class. So check in with them about, what does it smell like in the class? Is it okay? You know, what is the temperature like? Are you comfortable with that? Would you like me to adjust the lighting? Really having everybody play a central role in the safety of their immediate environment. And I always recommend hiding props away, especially if a survivor sees straps hanging on a wall, and if their trauma involved being bound in some way. That can be a really triggering process and a reminder of a not so pleasant experience. So again, anything that you can do to create that immediate safety in the room is so essential. The fifth tool that I want to cover is really focusing on a personal exploration of the postures. I think oftentimes as yoga teachers, we feel like we need to talk the entire class and fill up a lot of the empty space, but I think some of the most powerful moments of a trauma-sensitive class are when survivors are empowered to move their body in ways that feel comfortable. Even giving a basic cue for a sun salutation and then inviting people to move in whatever ways feel authentic for them and whatever ways feel natural. You can sometimes just notice the healing taking place. You notice a soft smile on their face. You notice them feeling comfortable closing their eyes and for the first time really truly feeling connected to their body. And for many survivors, they come to the yoga studio feeling really broken and really damaged and really disconnected from who they are, and allowing them and inviting them to move in ways that feel comfortable can be central to their healing process. So the next tool that I want to cover is really the importance of avoiding postures that could potentially be triggering for a survivor of sexual assault. So these postures include things like happy baby or plow pose, anything that is really exposing of the pelvic area or perhaps leaving the survivor in a very vulnerable place. I really recommend avoiding those postures altogether. Tool number 7 is the importance of sequences moving at a much slower pace. So really mindful movements, allowing survivors to truly be in their bodies. Sometimes survivors don't even feel safe within their own bodies. That can be a very, very tragic place for them because that is where the trauma occurred. So anything that you can do to allow them to slowly experience the movements, to slowly experience the transitions, that allows them to truly focus on the present moment, which are very conducive to their healing process. So the last tool that I want to cover is really the importance of creating a safe, supportive, and non-judgmental experience for your students. I remember a survivor who read about me in the OC Register, who read about the class that I teach here at Be the Change. And she told me it took her so much courage to take that first step into the yoga studio. And what helped her feel more comfortable was the way that I greeted her, was the way that I reminded her that this class was for her, that anything that we needed to do to make adjustments in the class to make her feel more comfortable. And you just saw the relief, you saw the smile on her face. She really felt like somebody cared about making this be her experience. The practice of yoga can be truly transformational for survivors. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this video. I hope that it was helpful for you as a yoga teacher or as a survivor of sexual assault. I will continue to lead videos like this if you are interested in watching a video that ties to the specific symptoms that oftentimes survivors experience, attached to specific postures that can be supportive and can be conducive to the healing process. That will be coming soon on the Be the Change YouTube channel. I will also be leading a trauma-sensitive yoga teacher workshop in January here at Be the Change, and I look forward to connecting with you. If you'd like more information, you can always like my Facebook page, Transcending Sexual Violence Through Yoga.